What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Airflow Podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Thomas. And today I have I guess she's a very, very special guest, but she's not really a guest anymore. She's really just a reoccurring host of the show. My lovely wife, Cassandra Thomas. Cassandra, KK, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. See, now you give me professional voice. I'm good. How are you? All right, we ain't gonna do that today. We gonna get down with it. So, um, hopefully everybody had a great week. And what I want to talk about this week, and what we want to talk about this week, is marriage transparency. And we started a Facebook page. How long ago was that page? Did we start that whole process, KK?
I believe it was in 2014,
It's about 7, 8, about 8 years.
2016.
So somewhere about 5 to 7 years ago, we started a Facebook group, and we started doing some things, just really focusing on marriage. And for KK, it was a vision that she had. So, KK, if you want to give us some insight to the vision that you received to do this sort of ministry, and the calling that you had for marriage transparency.
So yeah, it was actually back in 2014. And
so 8 years. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess God just gave me this vision because we've had quite a few people, that will come up to us to get advice about marriages because they felt like we was like this perfect couple. So I just had an idea of starting a page called Marriage Transparency. The name speaks for itself, just to be more transparent about marriages, to give everybody, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to let them know, just be honest about our marriage,
The real.
that we,
The real.
yeah.
Sometimes the stuff you may not want to hear, but it's real.
Right. So yeah, that's pretty much where it came from. Just to talk, just to give people ideas and talk to people about our marriage and let them know that, marriages, it can be good. You're going to have some good times, you're going to have some bad times, but just be open and honest about the experiences and everything that we've gone throughout the years.
Yeah. And I will say that, and first of all, I'm glad that we're not in the same room doing this, because you're so sexy. She's just so beautiful.
Whatever.
But anyway, once we get this studio stuff set up, we're gonna be in the same room, so I'm gonna have to contain myself. But for now, at least we're in a different room. But anyway, I think when you look at marriages, and one of the things that I've always thought about as we, discuss marriages and how we've sort of gone through this journey is, if your marriage is established with a great foundation, marriage is great. Is it work? Yes. But anything worth having is, you got to work for it. And I think that's some of the misconception. Those are some of the things that we were really trying to push, because everybody sees the movies, they see the fairy tales out there, and you find your soulmate, and, you live happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. And you can have that, but there's so many things in between, you know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of that stuff isn't explained. People just think you get married, and every issue, every challenge that you had when you were dating, everything that you were worried about before just goes away. Once you get rings on your finger, you have the nice ceremony, eat the cake, and it's all good. So, that's kind of my take on that. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, KK?
Yeah, pretty much what you said. Like you said, people think that, a lot of people think when they see us that, oh, you guys are just this perfect couple, and you guys don't seem like you argue and this, that, and the other. But it's not that we're trying to portray that we're perfect, but our thing is we're not the type of people that, or couple that's going to be on Facebook or any other these social media sites and, letting everybody know that when we do have issues, basically we're not the type of couple that you'll know from Facebook if we're having a problem or not. You know, sometimes you look
Yeah.
at some people's page, you know exactly what they're going through at that time, or they're having a good day, they're having a bad day. You could tell that they're, you know, they're not getting along or things like that. But I don't think that we also portray that we're perfect in front of people. We're just who we are. You know what I'm saying? If we're having issues, I mean, we're having issues, but we're not going to let everybody else know. That's between us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't look for a social media therapist. You know, a lot of people want to put their business out on social media. Sometimes, you know, they don't feel like they have another outlet. And I mean, I'm not knocking that. It's just from our perspective, when you put too many people inside of your relationship, it can cause problems. Now, for some, that might be a contradiction because we're calling this the marriage transparency diary, but there's things that we're being transparent about in a outlet that we want to share it in, you know, and in more intimate settings. Yeah, there'll be things that we can share with certain people with details, but there's some things you just don't want to put out there. There's some things that you want to hold and work through with your significant other. And I think that's important because there are a lot of people who are preying on you, PREY. They want marriage. There are people that just don't want marriage to work. It could be because their personal feelings towards marriage, something that they experienced, or you know, they just don't want people to be happy in relationships because they can't be happy in a relationship. So there's different things out there, and sometimes you just don't want that unnecessary warfare, really. So
I mean,
that's why we choose to do that.
But there's a difference between being transparent and airing out all your dirty laundry.
Oh, 100% agree. I agree. There's a huge difference. But again, you know, being transparent is being transparent about things that you want to be transparent about. There's still some protection of your relationship and, you know, some of the sanctity of that relationship, because, you know, you're not telling every little bit of business, you know, because if I go out there and say, well, you know, I'm upset at you because you did this, and this, then there's a narrative created that you're a bad person. So now people who are connected to me are going to look at you in a certain way. And then everything works out. And then now it's like people feel salty towards you because of something you did, or vice versa. I did something to you, people connected to you looking at me like I'm just this crazy person. They don't know anything about the situation, but they know what you put on Facebook. So any social media site. So it's just that back and forth that, you know, it just creates, and it puts your significant other in a bad spot, because again, you will have challenges. And there are people that are out there that, you know, they look at you, you know, you're a beautiful woman, you know, and they want me to mess up, and they want you to put something so they can slide in them DMs and be like, hey, you know, I'm just checking on you because you know.
Yeah, I got a lot of them sliding in my DM too.
Yeah. And I got guns for them all. So yeah.
I'm just playing.
They can slide in and they're gonna run out. No, but I mean, and it's you know, it's gonna happen. I mean, now in this day and age, you know, there are people, whether they're connected to you or not, you know, they're gonna shoot the shot. You know, they're gonna try to see what they can do. And if you giving them bait like that, you know, again, it just brings more challenges to your marriage. So it's good to ensure that, you know, you're keeping some things private and working through them. Even if you have counseling or something like that, you know, you're working through it with the counselor. Facebook is not the place to work that out, or any social media site. So just that's just a nugget in itself. But you know, what else about the vision? You know, we did a lot of things with it, with our Facebook page. And, you know, for those that are interested, the Facebook page is still up. It's www.facebook.com/see through marriage. That's SEETHRUMARRIAGE, see through marriage. But you know, from your perspective, KK, you know, what's some of the gratification that you got in doing the marriage transparency diary? When we started and we kind of took a break, but you know, when we originally kicked it out, what's some of the things that you really got from that made you feel good?
Got from
just
just
doing
having
it.
a page?
Yeah, just doing it, feedback that we've got, just things like that, people that have reached out to you, you know, that sort of help you know that this was the right thing to do when we started it.
We got a lot of good feedback. A lot of people was encouraged us to that this was a good thing that we were doing and keep it up. One of the reasons why I also wanted to do it too is to just encourage people in their marriage, not only the people that are married, but people that seek to be married. Just encourage them that, like you said before, marriage is not always, it's not a bad thing. It takes work. So, I mean, that's one of the things that we do on the page. We put little snippets of things, different things to encourage people. Just looking at some of them that we had, like 5 steps to a great marriage. Just little things like that we could find, that we could put out there that people can utilize in their marriage, or like I said, ones that seeking to be married.
Yeah, and I think the other part is there's especially now, even in 2022, I mean, there's this growing misconception, or this growing, I don't even know if it's a misconception or perception, that marriages are dead. Like, people being in marriages are, it's almost a foregone conclusion. You see the rates, 50% divorce rates and higher. A lot of people just prefer to stay in a long-term relationship with pretty much all of the trappings of marriage, except for having the actual marriage. To the point, it's like, well, why do I need to get married? I've got everything here. And from my perspective, again, I don't want to minimize. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have marriages minimized. I think marriages are still worth fighting for. It does take fighting. And I think that is some of the things that we've gotten in this generation, just where we are today in this world, I should say, not more than just this generation, but in this world, everything is, there's a low tolerance for anything. So if there's any kind of mess ups, I'm done with you. If there's any kind of, challenges, I'm walking away, I'm quitting, and I think that's where, you see the biggest breakthrough in your relationship and your marriage, when you go through those things, and then, you work together to fight through them, and sometimes it may be just the one spouse, it may be a spouse, you're working on, just praying to be a better you. And through that process, your spouse comes around and things change, because a lot of times we work on praying for the other person. We work towards fixing that other person, but we don't look at the things we need to fix and worry about how can we be better as a husband or wife. And then through that process, we're doing what we're supposed to do. And, a lot of times you see through that process that, the other spouse will come around, and now, the marriage is a lot better than what it's ever been, because there was that period of going through something. There's always something great that comes from a testimony, comes from a trial, and that's going to happen in any relationship. So, we're about to enter 20 years this June. And for us, that's not for us, but just in general, that's huge. And I can think about a lot of things that we've gone through in our marriage to get us here. And we're still growing. I want to make sure people understand that our marriage is like my wife said, it's not perfect, and we don't portray it to be perfect. It's a good marriage. And I say it's good because we continue to discuss things, even when we're falling off the mark with each other. We're open and honest, and, through years of talking through this, through maturity, through maturation. I mean, we've definitely matured a lot, each of us, both of us, I should say, because there's things today that we do that we wouldn't do, and there are things that we don't do today that we didn't do earlier. So we're still figuring each other out. We're still learning, and that's the good part. And we want to do it. We want to have a good marriage. We want to continue to grow. So, KK, what are your thoughts? I mean, about what has helped us make it through to this point, getting almost 20 years. What do you think has gotten us to this point?
Our communication. That, like you said, we don't have a problem communicating with each other. And, well, yeah, we don't have a problem communicating with each other and talking to each other about each other's feelings or things, our dislikes and likes. But I mean, it wasn't always like that.
No.
At the beginning, I mean, both of us, pretty much used to get defensive about certain things. But I think over the years, we've learned how to just step back and listen to one another and be open and honest and, you know, able to hear it, and not only just hear it, but once we listen to it, sit back and, think about the things that the other person said and change the things that the other person said that they didn't like about each other.
Yeah. And I think wanting to change is important, and wanting to hit that, to compromise and figure out what do you need from me and what do I need from you, and be able to articulate that, because sometimes that in itself can be a challenge. I think communication is definitely the key, and communication again goes a long way. But then, communication without any action, any changes, is just talk. So I think that's something that we've had to also work through with everything else, but just focusing on a marriage, when we've had to work through as we've grown and matured, that we communicate things that we need, but then we also have to put work behind it and do some of the things, and it's still a work in progress. I mean, we're not near where we're supposed to be, and we're not supposed to be at the top. I mean, we're supposed to continue to grow each year. We should be going to a different level. And I think, we're definitely starting to do that more and more as we're getting older. Our kids are getting older. And one of the things that I've always told you, and that we've always said to each other, is that, we don't want to be at a place when we're empty nesters and we look at each other and we don't know who we are. In terms of individually and as a couple, we've lost everything because we've devoted so much time to just our kids and, jobs and life. And, we forgot about the reason why, we're here, the reason why God put us together for a purpose. So for me, that is one of the things that I always look at is, we've got to get back to the basics. The basics was, this family is me, you, and God. And that's where that's how we got the kids and all that. So we always say the kids are going to be fine, but just making sure that we are, focusing on us. And sometimes we just got to do it. I think now that they're older, we're really starting to let loose, leaving them at home when we want to go do something, where before we'd be like, oh, we want to do that. And we'll be a little weird about it. But now it's like, they'll be all right. They can go get some out the refrigerator and they'll be good when we're going to go. So, but that took a little bit.
Yeah.
That took a little bit. So, so we talked about really some of the, some of the things that we've gotten out of it. I know you mentioned that just the gratification that you got was just getting feedback around it, people saying that, yeah, we appreciate what you guys are saying. It's inspired us. And, I think for me, that's more motivation to continue to do it, because, even if it's just one person that comes and says, hey, we really appreciate what you guys said, because we're going through some of that stuff. We've had people come to us and ask us to not sort of mentor, just, they ask us questions about things with marriage. People who are interested in getting married. They may reach out to us, family members and things like that, and it's always a good thing that people, they feel like our marriage is a good example. And I think you and I are pretty honest about things. When we don't sugarcoat it a lot. We tell them the good, we tell them the bad. I mean, we tell them what it is. I mean, and being real. I mean, to me, that's the best thing. Because if you just go and say, oh, it's going to be okay, everything is great, KK is the best person, I'm the best person, we just, we don't have any flaws and this, that, and the other, people look at us like we crazy, because we're not perfect people. And, we're two imperfect people trying to, be a part of this perfect union with God. And if we're doing the things we're supposed to do through him first, we'll be fine. So, we mix a lot of that. We mix our faith in with it, which you have to, because that's what marriage is based off of. It has to be grounded in faith. God has to be at the center of it. And if he's not, I don't know how many marriages will survive. Because when we stood in front of that church of people, we made vows to God. So I just think that is where that's where we're strong at. Now, in the sense of being transparent, what do you think some of the things that we still need to work through from 20 years of marriage? we've had our ups and downs, more ups than downs. But right now, what will be one of the things that you think we need to work on? I know one for sure, but what's one of the things?
Dating. We still have to work on, and we still have to make time for each other and, go on dates because I mean, like you mentioned that we're getting a little bit more loose with it, but we still don't. To me, I just feel like we still don't take enough time for each other and go on dates enough.
That
So
was going to be one of that was going to be the thing I said. I think dating is it's important. I mean, we got to this point from dating, and people will say, well, we're in the house with each other all the time. Why do we need to go out somewhere? That is the worst thing you can do and think when you're in a marriage. And I'll just say, guys, you know, even though she may say she don't feel like doing nothing, and I've had to learn that. And sometimes I just had to do it or just force it. And I'm not good at doing it consistently, but sometimes you just got to say, hey, let's go somewhere. Let's get out and do something, and KK would do the same thing. She'd be like, hey, let's do this. I want to do something. We'll be good for a little bit. We'll have some level of consistency for a short period of time, and then something comes up and it's like, well, we fall off for a while, and then we do something big, and then it's like, yeah, we got to do this more, and then something comes up, and it's just inconsistent. I always tell KK, the good thing is that we still have that desire. The bad thing is we still are working through it. So for those couples who go out on dates, I know some couples that they date, weekly. I salute you guys. And that's something that, again, we have to work on. So again, that's full transparency. We don't do it as much. And it and with me and KK would tell you, it doesn't have to be the big extravagant go on a weekend or a week and do this big thing. It can just be, something small, a picnic. I know with COVID around, it's kind of changed some things, but even doing, cooking a meal at home, if it's nice outside, maybe just do a backyard thing, if you got a backyard, or go walking around somewhere, go window shopping, just dream together, go look at some cars, something like that. And, go grab you some Andy's ice cream. I had to throw that in there. That's free publicity for
oh,
Andy's.
dang.
But
What time is it? So they about to close. Dang.
nah, we ain't gonna make it out there where we at. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna make it there, but little stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And you can chime in on that, KK. I mean, for you, what's a date for you?
I think for me, can, like you said, it could be a picnic. I mean, it don't have to be. I guess I don't look at dates like going to the movies. I'm so
Well,
burnt
you
out
don't
on
like
going to
going to
movies,
movies
and
anyway, so
no, I didn't really like movies pre-COVID. So um just anything like that. Like the time that, even though it wasn't my birthday, we went to the vineyard. No, it
uh
wasn't my birthday.
no, we just went. I think it
It
might have
was our
been
anniversary.
anniversary. Yeah, it was anniversary
Yeah.
last year
I
because
mean,
COVID shut down a lot of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, things like that. When going to the vineyard, just having a picnic there, or like just something different. Going to the park, taking a nice walk in the park. Um,
we can just go in our backyard.
I mean, yeah, we could. Or it's like something simple, like back in the day when we used to meet for lunch and go work out, just things like that. I like to do different things. I don't like doing the same things over and over and over again.
So now we got to be even more creative because we both work at home together in the same office. So for us, it might just be setting a meeting on the internet. I know this sounds goofy for some people, but it may just be, and I'm helping myself, but I'm trying to help somebody else. It may just be saying, you know what, I'm gonna go on my calendar at work, go on my Outlook, and I'm gonna set a meeting, and I'm gonna send her a meeting invite, and we're gonna go and eat lunch together at the table, and it sounds crazy, but if you think about it, and for those that for those couples who work at home, you know, that little time, because it shows that you're taking time to just focus on her or you know, us together. You know, it's little, like we did used to go meet for lunch. You know, I would go pick her up, and or she would come out to where I am and we'll meet at a restaurant and, you know, have lunch together, whatever. But, you know, now it's like we see each other every day. We're sitting in the same room for 8 or 9 hours.
Yeah.
Then we leave out
every day.
Yeah, then we leave out of the room, and then we go into the bedroom and we sit there. So, you know, that's going to be a new wrinkle in things. You know, but I will say the good thing is, go ahead, go say.
Some people that work from home, you know, put a meeting invite and go to the bedroom. Only for married people.
Yeah, you know what? That's right. Sometimes you gotta have. I mean, you gotta have some recreation in there. You gotta work out. You know, gotta have a little.
No, we watching TV.
Yeah, we watching TV. All right. We gotta have a power hour where we tap in grace. For married people, y'all know what that is. Our Marriage Made Easy folks that live in truth know about that. But I mean, you got to do it, you know. And the interesting thing is, you know, we're here during the day. There's no kids. So yeah, we can get real interesting with it. And that's where we have to be creative. So, you know, again, this being transparent, you know, we gotta look at some different ways to really to do that. But and that right there is what I just mentioned and what KK mentioned. Those are things that we got to look through. But you know, what's some other good dating things that you would like?
Let me think about that.
And y'all gotta know, KK, from a personality standpoint, she doesn't like to be out around a bunch of people. I mean, she'll go out, but again, that you have to know your spouse. So again, everything may not be going into. I mean, she'll go to a concert, she'll go to you know, a comedy show and things like that. But you know, she's not the type that just likes to be around a lot of people. So, you know, those are things that I'm saying that again that's helping me out. But you know, you got to know your spouse and you got to know their likes and dislikes. And sometimes they'll do things just because it's new and they'll try it. But you just got to know that they may be a little leery about it, and but once they get out there, they'll be good. Come on, KK, what else you got?
I don't mind being around people, certain people.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, I know another thing you like to do. You like to shoot guns.
Yeah, we hadn't done that in a while.
Yeah, KK like to shoot guns. She won't shoot the shotgun, but she'll shoot everything else. So we'll have to. But she does like doing that, and I guess that's a form of stress relief. Another thing. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say another thing that we do together, and it's not really a date, but it's just doing things together, is when we work out together. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like when we used to meet for lunch and go work out together. I mean, I should enjoy that. I don't know, I just like different things. I can't think of anything different other than, I mean, that's around town. I like to do things like spontaneous stuff, which we both need to get better at that. But I mean, it's not necessarily a date, but I guess you could call it a date. Like just going out of town just for the weekend. It don't have to be anywhere extravagant, just a nice drive, maybe to Atlanta or, you know, places like that in the mountains.
Bell buckle bed and breakfast. Stuff.
No, I'm not doing that.
Why?
Not in bell buckle. Not in bell buckle.
Why?
It's right down town. The street.
Hey, it's something different.
Hey, we can bell buckle right there in the backyard. Put a tent up.
No, a bed and breakfast is different than camping outside. Now, I don't mind. I'll do it. We talked about doing, and that again, that's something else. When the weather gets better, we could go out there in the tent and hang out. I mean, we got space for it, so we can definitely do it. Get a nice tent and hang out. So
as long as I have my blow up mattress, I'm good.
Yeah, you gotta have a blow up. She wants to go glamping, as they say. So
yeah.
I'm gonna have to run a power line out there and everything else, and make sure we got electricity, and it'll be just like we inside, but we outside.
Yep.
That's what you need.
Nah, but I mean, yeah, but just a nice weekend getaway. I think most of the time we have our best conversations when we take road trips.
Mm-hmm. I would agree, 100%. Because I think you just got to time. You get time. That's why I like driving. People look at me like I'm crazy because I like driving. I mean, it's not that I don't like the convenience of flying, because it is better to get somewhere in 45 minutes to an hour than drive 8 hours. But sometimes the drive is therapeutic because you can, think about things. You kind of have freedom to get in your thoughts. And then for us, like, when we have those conversations, we just really talk differently because you're outside of your comfort zone at home. You're outside of your normal spaces, and it just gives you time to reflect on things. So I definitely agree with that 100%. So what you're
Yeah.
saying is
Going
we
to,
can just go driving around for a couple hours and just talk,
I mean, we could.
grab something to eat.
I like to eat.
Yeah, we will eat. Now, food has to be involved. Which I don't know too many people that go on dates and there's no food at all. But yeah, we like to eat, so that is 100% true. I'm on board with that one.
Yeah, I like to go to nice different restaurants that we haven't gone before,
And there's
trying new experiences like that.
and
There's
there's
plenty of
plenty.
them in Nashville.
Yeah, luckily, with Tennessee and in this Nashville area just being crazy with new cuisines, new restaurants coming around, I think that's definitely an advantage for us. So okay.
Well, what
Um,
about you?
what about me and what dates?
Yeah.
I mean, I I just like being with you. So if you plan a date, I'm always for it. If you say, okay, it's my turn, and this is one thing we try to do. We try to switch up who plans. So we try to alternate. Like if I do something, then she'll do something, and we'll kind of go back and forth, rotating. Like, all right, it's your turn to plan. It's my turn to plan. So, with me, I'm just like, if I'm with you and it's something that you want to do and you're happy, I'm good. Like I'm not hard to please. I don't have a major thing. If you say, all right, Ricky, me and you just gonna go and we're gonna get pedicures, I'll be like, okay. You know,
You are not getting a
I have
pedicure.
I've done it once already. I've done it with you
Once.
before. But I mean, that's the only time
Once.
if you bring it up and say, Ricky, I'm gonna take you to get a pedicure. We're gonna go have pedicure, we're gonna have a spa day together. I'll be like, okay, cool. Now I've sent you to the spa. I've sent you, let you do that and have your day and do all that stuff. But if you said, Ricky, we're gonna go have a spa day together, we're gonna get massages, pedicures, and all that stuff, I would do it. I'm not gonna say, nah, I'll do it. But it's just we've only gone to get pedicures like once. But if you wanted to say, okay, let's just go get pedicures and hang out and do this, I would actually do it.
Okay.
Plus, I think I need to get my feet done. So
Yeah.
they need some attention. So I'm glad you
They got
cracking up about
your feet got COVID.
that. You stupid. Yeah, my feet got COVID. They got all the different variants, the Delta, the Omicron, the Megatron. They got all of that. So yeah, they need some attention. So there you go. I just teed that up for you. So maybe I need to plan that somewhere. I'm just
I've
going.
been telling you need to go get a pedicure.
Well, see, I was giving you the opportunity to set up a date for me to go. I'm trying
Okay.
to. I'm,
I,
I'm
I
helping you help
I
me.
got you.
Yeah, but I mean, again, y'all see how we going through this. But I mean, sometimes we talk about that. We have conversations like, man, we need to do something. What can we do? And there's no right or wrong answer. Just do something. I think you lose steam when you go back and forth trying to figure out the perfect thing versus just doing it. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what gets us. We try to figure it out like, oh, I don't want to do that. I mean, yeah, you don't want to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. Just going to get something to eat, at the local cafe or something. That's not necessarily good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's gotta be a little more than that. A little bit more effort. And I'm gonna go pick up some euros from the Euro spot, and we'll just sit and eat it together and watch Power or something like that. I mean, that's not a date. Um, I don't know. I
It's
mean,
not, but I think for us, even if we did go to a local cafe and we sat down together and did that, that's, I mean, I ain't gonna say that's not anything big, but that's something for us because that's something that we don't do a lot.
okay. So y'all heard that. So if I take a picture of us like out on a date and we at the local cafe and she ain't smiling, y'all know. I'm just saying.
Hey, as long as there's food involved, I'll probably be smiling.
So see, keep her fed. Yeah, y'all hear that? So they say, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, but the way to a woman's heart is through her stomach as well. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, you make me sound like a fat girl though.
Nah, you not, but I mean, but hey, you got a good appetite. I'm glad. Because when we first met, you ain't like to eat around me.
I always ate around
You
you.
used to be like, I don't want to like I'm being greedy. KK. You used to be like, I ain't at first when we first started hanging out and stuff, you wasn't just you was like you was eat like nibble a little bit here and there. You'll eat a
That's
little.
probably that's because you didn't have a lot of money. I didn't want to spend your money.
Dude, we used to go out to eat. See, now she front. We used to go out and eat all the time. All the money I had was going, and this is no lie. Whenever any little money I had went to us eating food. It was either Walmart stops, Sam's Club buying a bunch of snacks, or we was going to. I was bringing home Hooters. I was bringing home Jack in the Box. We were going to whatever food place we can find. Now KK bought stuff too. I'll be like, you ain't got to buy that, because I was just believe I always paid, but she was like, no, I'm gonna pay. I don't want you paying all the time. But we was eating. You can't say we
Yeah, we
we
did.
wasn't eating.
Yeah, we did eat.
We ate all the time. It's surprising that we wasn't just big because we was eating. We have, I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, but one thing we knew how to do was eat. Either we was cooking something or we was going somewhere to go out to eat, anywhere that was around. So we definitely did that for sure. All right. So one of the things that, I'm glad we had this opportunity to really share and talk, as I mentioned, we are really kicking back off the marriage transparency diary. This is something that, KK came back to me and was like, hey, we really need to get this back going again. So, we're doing this for the purpose of not only our marriage, but for other marriages. It was a good thing. I thought it was therapeutic for us because it got us talking about things, it got us researching things, and it got us trying new things. And I think that's important. So, the same way with the Airflow podcast, I share information with everybody, and look to inspire others through the things that I'm sharing, the things that other people are sharing about their stories. It's the same thing with that, is that it helps me, it inspires me, it informs me. So I'm not just doing this just to talk at people. I'm talking to myself. And it's the same thing with the marriage transparency diaries. I would say that with us doing that, KK, we probably had some great times in our marriage, just when we were taking that time to focus on that page and just doing stuff around that. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree because we were being very intentional about things.
Right. And I think that's what was so important. So, again, it's therapeutic for us. I mean, it helps us. I mean, when we learn things because we had other people share ideas. We'll put something, put a post out there and we'll say, hey, what's some great date night ideas in the Nashville area, if you're in this area, that area, or just in general, with some great date night ideas, and we have post up about that and people comment. I mean, people share things about, events going on around the city for couples or something that'll be good for couples to do. Those are the kind of things that we're building up, that we want to make sure we build a community around, where marriages are encouraged, marriages are, they're safe there, and you can grow and be, I'm gonna say one thing: we ain't into that swinging stuff and all of that. So if you swingers, this ain't the spot for you. I'm just throwing it out there. We ain't with that. I'm a little freaky, but we ain't getting down like that. We keep ours within ours. So this ain't that. So I'm just throwing it out there, letting everybody know. I gotta say that. It's 2022. I gotta throw that out there. We ain't promote none of that. Our marriage bed is our marriage bed. Me and KK. when you kick the kids out, even though they come in there anyway, sleeping. But anyhow, but yeah, we're just really trying to kick this thing back off again. We really want to take an opportunity, and I wanted to take an opportunity with the Airflow podcast, because again, it's about, building kingdom heirs. Well, marriage is a big part of, being an heir of the kingdom. It's not the only thing, but it's a big part. It's building good relationships. So if you're married or thinking about getting married, or even if you're single and just dating and things like that, there are kingdom relationships that you can have within the dating realm, and if the intentions are to get to that point of marriage, then great. But it's one of the most important relationships in God. It's God, it's your spouse, it's your children, and then family, and everything else comes after that. So and it's very clear in the Bible. So that's why we're so passionate about it. That's why we just don't want to let our marriage fall, and any marriage fall by the wayside. We feel some kind of way when we see marriages end, and we hear it all around. It's on the news. It's, people are breaking up every day. So, and some of these folks have been married for 20, 30 years, and it's all of a sudden now, I guess they didn't got on social media, and they didn't lost their minds, and they think the grass is greener on the other side, and that grass is artificial on the other side, and it's fake. Not only the grass, but everything else is fake. So y'all young players, are y'all old dudes trying to find them young women, and vice versa. It ain't what you think. What you got at home is something special. And it's definitely something worth keeping. So, I think, I want to close it out because I think there's a lot more. There's a lot more coming up. But KK, is there anything else you want to share?
No, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, we just wanted to kick this back off. We're going to be starting a podcast called the Marriage Transparency Diary. So we're working through that process, figuring out, I will still be doing the Airflow podcast. So Airflow will not go away. You would just hear a little bit more out of me. We'll come up. We're working on schedules and everything else and how we want to do it. Trying to get things set up, getting all the equipment together, because I don't want to do a Marriage Transparency Diary podcast and with the video as well. And me and KK are not in the same room. So there's some dynamics that we have to work through from, equipment and everything. But, the ultimate goal is, it's going to be interactive. We are going to, again, have our own, stuff that we want to share. And then we're going to have other couples on. Again, it's important to have different perspectives on marriage and talk through things. And, there's always going to be the good and the bad. Marriage, there's divorce that is out there, and divorce is real. But then there are some people who've got divorced and been remarried, and, they're as happy as they can ever be because, something within their first marriage just wasn't right. So, we just want to keep encouraging those relationships, building our relationships, but especially, really focusing on the marriage. So, KK, I thank you for joining me again. Definitely appreciate your insight. I look forward to what we're getting ready to build, and definitely want to invite everybody to join us on the Marriage Transparency Diary page and Facebook. We're working on building an Instagram account. So we'll have those linked together. Podcast, all that stuff will be integrated, so you can reach us in those different ways. You never know. There's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot more things that are coming out from this. Fortunately, there won't be any more babies. So I think we're done making babies. Well, are we done making babies, KK?
The factory is closed.
Yeah, but if God say it's so, it is so.
No.
So if y'all hear me and KK pregnant, y'all better get to running and shouting and everything else. I'm telling y'all. I'm just saying. Or KK.
God would do that. He wouldn't do that to me.
Either y'all get to running and shouting, or y'all get to praying for KK.
Yeah, y'all better pray for me.
Y'all get to praying for KK because KK done did something she wasn't supposed to do. She need protection.
Whatever.
Yeah, she didn't catch that at first.
I heard you.
Nah. The factories are shut down, but it's all good. We got 3 beautiful children. You know, if we've had people tell us y'all should adopt. Like, I don't know if we want to start all over again.
No, I thought about it at one point, but I think the ship has sailed.
I don't know. I still get baby fever from time to time.
You better go borrow somebody else, baby.
I don't know. I got a few people around.
Danielle, where y'all at?
Right. I don't think my little brother had, just had his little baby CJ, little Caleb Josiah Thomas. I don't even know. He probably won't even let him come out of his sights. So we probably won't get him. We ain't gonna get him, but I don't know. It's enough babies coming around, popping up around us. So we'll see. But I still every now and then want one of my own. So
you can go volunteer at the hospital.
Volunteer? What? Just hold babies and have to give them back?
Yes.
I get to say, they probably think, who is this dude in here holding babies? This random dude is up here holding babies. He trying to get me locked up. All right. Well, we'll end it on that note. But again, thank y'all for listening in. I hope you got something from this. As I said, with marriages, with everything we do on this podcast, it's all about inspiring and informing kingdom heirs to live the best life possible, to live the life that we were created to do. And in that, we want your marriages to be the best that they can be and what they were created to be. So, as always, we just ask you to continue to flow with us and flow on. Peace.